Today we are going to study chapter 10, carbon and its compounds. In this chapter we are going to study about carbon and how carbon is going to make compounds. Carbon. Carbon is having the atomic formula is capital C. The atomic number of carbon Z is 6. Means carbon is having 6 protons and 6 neutrons in its nucleus, while it is having 6 electrons which are moving around the nucleus. So we can say the atomic mass of the carbon, the mass of the center of the carbon atom is 12. Means it is having 6 protons and 6 neutrons. The electronic configuration is 2 and 4. The inner shell is having 2 electrons and the outer shell consists of 4 electrons. So the valency of carbon is 4. Carbon falls in the group number 14 and period number 2. Why is carbon so important? It is the main element present in all living organisms. Almost all fuel that we use are made up of carbon, like petroleums, coal, gases, natural gases, etc. Other organic substances like carbohydrate, protein, fats, alcohol, vinegar, glucose, etc. contain carbon. So we can say around us there are so many chemicals or the compounds which are formed from carbon. Even plastic have carbon. So we can say all living and non-living objects mostly are made up of carbon. Carbon is a versatile element. Till now, the number of known carbon compound is about 10 millions. So we can say about 10 million compound of carbons are present right now around us. This number is actually larger than the total number of compounds that are formed by all other elements. All other elements form less numbers of compounds compared to only carbon. So we can say this is due to the covalent bonding capacity of carbon. What is covalent bond now? Covalent bond is the bond in which elements are sharing their electrons to make a bonding structure between them. When they are going to have electron sharing, have a look in this hydrogen atom. Hydrogen is having one electron. This one electron either they donate and become positive, or they accept and become negative. But here hydrogen is not doing anything among this, but it is sharing its electron with other hydrogen. This sharing of electron from two hydrogen make a bond between them, and this bond is known as covalent bond. The same thing happens with oxygen. Oxygens are having two empty electron places in their outer shell, and these two empty places are being shared by the electrons which are having in the common. They are shown by a double bond. Same way, nitrogen is having triple bond. That triple bond is a covalent bond. We can say the methane, which is having the chemical structure is CH4. Methane is a carbon compound which is having 4 hydrogen attached to the carbon compound. Hydrogen is having one empty electron, one electron in its outer shell, while carbon is having 4 electrons. So here, have a look on the figure. The red electrons of carbon are being shared by the green electrons of hydrogen, and this sharing of electrons make a bond, that is a covalent bond, and thus the structure of methane is being formed. These electrons may be shown by the dot structure, electron dot structure, or it may be electron dot or cross structure. Now we are going to study the characteristic of carbon. Carbon has a unique ability to form strong covalent bonds with other carbon atoms. This property of carbon is called catenation power. Means carbon can join to any other carbon in a long chain formation, and this catenation property of carbon makes a very large number of carbon atoms. The covalent bond between two carbon atoms is strong, and therefore these molecules or these atoms which are being formed by this long chain of carbon atoms are very stable. The carbon compound contains open chains. Sometimes it contains open chains, sometimes it contains closed chains, sometimes these chains are straight chains, sometimes it is having a branch like structure. Here is the closed chain structure of carbon. We can say this closed chain structure is just like a ring structure. This ring structure of carbon is having double bond between the carbon molecules. The two carbon atoms can be bonded together by 1, 2 or 3 covalent bonds, and these bonding pattern of carbon molecules are known by its single bond, double bond and triple bond activity. We can say being tetravalent, or carbon is having 4 valence electrons, so it is a tetravalent thing, one carbon atom can form bonds with four other atoms. It may be carbon, it may be any other. If it is hydrogen at the four places, it is called as methane. If it is this hydrogen is being replaced by chlorine, it is called as chloromethane. It is if two hydrogen molecules are being replaced by two chlorine molecules, we can say it is a dichloromethane. And if it is three chlorine, then it is trichloromethane. So we can say these valencies can be managed by any other molecule which are going to share one electron with carbon. The compounds which contain only carbon and hydrogen are called hydrocarbons. Means the compound which are formed only by the carbon and hydrogen bondings. They are known as hydrocarbons. And these hydrocarbons are actually abundant in nature. Now we are going to study the functional groups. The functional groups are the groups which are being joined to carbon atoms and form different type of carbon compounds. The first is halo group. We can say halogen group is containing fluorine, chlorine, bromine, iodine type of halogens. The first one shows the one molecule of fluorine which is being attached to the carbon. Here, the atom of the element which is substituted for hydrogen is called the heteroatom. Okay, this heteroatom, if it is fluorine, it is known as fluoromethane. If it is chlorine, it is known as chloromethane. If it is bromine, it is known as bromomethane. Okay, the chemical structure of fluoroethane is shown in at number 2, that is CH3, CH2 and F. Means the one valency of the second carbon is being attached by the fluorine molecule. In propane, it is CH3, CH2, CH2 and F. So we can say the general formula of halo group with hydrocarbon can be shown as R with X. Here X is depicted for halogens while R is known as the functional group of hydrocarbon. Okay, and these are commonly known as haloalkanes. Now the alcohol group. Alcohol is having OH structure. The bonding of OH is being shown when it is going to attach with carbon. It is known as alcohol group. When OH group is being attached to methane, it is known as methanol. When it is going to attach with ethane, it is known as ethanol. Then propanol, likewise. So we can say the general formula of alcohol group is ROH, where R is the functional group of any hydrocarbon, while OH is an alcohol functional group. The third one is carboxylic acid. General formula of it is RCOOH, where R can be any hydrocarbon and it is being attached with COOH. We can see the formula of formic acid or the methanoic acid. It is having the structure of COOH. Okay. Then the other compound is acetic acid or ethanoic acid. It is having CH3COOH. Here one oxygen is being attached to carbon by double bond while the other is being attached to single bond. The propionic acid is having the structure of CH3, CH2COOH. The fourth group is aldehyde group. The general formula of aldehyde group is R with CHO. Here the oxygen is being attached by double bond to the carbon while the other two hydrogens are being attached with single bonding. So we can have the formaldehyde, aldehyde are having the suffix of hyde. So we can say it is formaldehyde for one carbon, acetaldehyde for two carbons and propionaldehyde for three carbons. Now the ketone group. The general formula of ketone group is RCO R dash. Here R and R dash are the two different hydrocarbon groups while they are being attached with CO group of ketone, that is C double bond O group of ketone. In the first figure, we can see CH3, C double bond O and CH3. The central C is a keto group represented for keto group while the other two are the hydrocarbon groups. So this structure is being called as dimethyl ketone. Here it can be alcohol R and OH group, acid R and COH group, aldehyde is RCOH group and ketone is having RCR dash. So we can say we are going to study the homologous Cs. The series which are having similarities, they are having same functional groups, while they are having the sequence or successions of various type of carbon molecules are known as homologous series. Here we can say the methane. Methane is having the chemical formula of CH4. When we are going to add CH2 into methane, it is converted into ethane, that is C2H6. The ethane, when we are going to add CH2 into ethane, is going to convert into propane. So likewise they are increasing in the number. Carbon molecules are increasing in number and they are converted into the next alkane. The propane, that is CH3 C3H8 plus CH2 gives C4H10, that is butane. So we can say in alkanes the general formula is CnH2n plus 2, and the common difference between the two successive molecule of the alkane series is CH2. Okay. Series in which the compound with the same general formula but different molecular formula occur in immediate succession are known as homologous series. These homologous series have same functional groups, they occur in succession and they increase every time with the increasing number of carbon. Now we are going to study the nomenclature of hydrocarbons. How the hydrocarbons are being classified. The hydrocarbons are being classified basically on the bonds between the two carbon molecules. Here, if there is a one covalent bond between two carbon, it is known as alkane. If it is this covalent bond between carbon, it is known as alkene, and the triple bond structure is known as alkyne. So we can say the general formula of alkane is CnH2n plus 2. The general formula for alkene is CnH2n, while the general formula for alkyne group, the triple bond group, is CnH2n minus 2. Means here two hydrogen is being removed more from the alkene group. Now we are going to study alkanes. The first is methane, that is CH3. Methane is actually having CH4 structure. But when we are removing one hydrogen from this methane, what we are having, we are having one valence electron of carbon is searching for some competitive electron. So we can say it is a methyl group. Methane is having nomenclature as methyl. Ethane is having ethyl. Propane is having propyl. When we are going to add functional group after this methane structure, when we are removing one hydrogen and we are substituting it with any other halo group or alcohol or ketone or any group, aldehyde group, it is known as first word is known as methyl. After one, the functional group will be attached. The general formula of alkene is CnH2n. Here we are adding we are removing two hydrogen, and these two hydrogen which we are removed is having the double bond between carbon molecules. While the alk represents the number of carbon atoms and is called the root word. How we are going to name any chemical compound? Carbon compound which is having one carbon, the root word could be methane. The chemical compound which is having two carbon is eth. The root word is eth. Methane, ethane, propane for alkane. If we are studying about alkene, it is methane, ethene, propene. If we are talking about alkynes, it is methyl, ethine, propyne, etc. Now we are going to study the straight chain hydrocarbons, the structure of saturated and unsaturated hydrocarbons. If we are talking about propane, that is C3H8, we can see the three carbon molecules are attached to each other with a single bond and other valencies are being filled with hydrogen. That is called the saturated hydrocarbon because no valency of this carbon can be break down to add more hydrogen molecules. But when we are going to study the saturated hydrocarbon in the form of propene, that is C3H6, we can see the double bond between the last two carbons, and these double bond can be break down by adding two hydrogen H2 into this molecule, and it can be converted into propane, that is C3H8. Okay, or there is a triple bond between propene. This propene is having triple bond and we can add three hydrogen with these carbon molecules, and we can break down the three bonds between the three covalent bond between two carbon molecules. Now what is structural isomerism? Structural isomerism is the process of studying structures which are having similar molecular formula, but they are having different structural formula. Suppose we are studying here C4H10. The structural formula of C4H10 is can be denoted by first and second both the figures. What is the difference between first and second figure? These type of structures, they are having different type of arrangement of carbon molecules with them. So two different compounds, as their structural formula is different but molecular formula is same, are known as structural isomers. Structural isomers can be of a ring structure also. The straight chain and branch chain are showing the structural isomerism, but closed chain of carbon atoms are also represented the same thing. We are talking about the carbon ring in cyclohexane and the C6H12 molecule. They can be seen with the structural isomerism. Now, we are going to study the chemical properties of carbon compounds. The first is combustion reaction. The reaction in which substance, that is element or compound, burn with oxygen gas to form carbon dioxide and water with release of large amount of heat and light is called combustion. So, if we are going to burn any substance of a hydrocarbon molecule, suppose we are burning methane, CH4, when we are going to burn this compound in the presence of oxygen gas, and what we are getting? We are getting carbon dioxide gas and water after the burning of methane gas, and lots of heat and light energy after this process. The another is oxidation reaction. Oxidation reaction can be better understood by the mechanism of flames. Flame is the region where combustion or burning of gaseous substances takes place. Depending upon the amount of oxygen available and burning of fuels, flames are of the following two types. The first is blue or non-luminous flame, while the second is yellow or luminous flame. Flame, when the oxygen supply is sufficient, the fuel burn completely, they are producing a blue flame and no light is being produced over here. Example, burning of LPG in gas stove. While when we are having yellow flame because of the presence of unburned carbon particles inside the flame. Example is burning of wax vapors. Now we are going to study the third reaction, that is addition reaction. When we are having unsaturated hydrocarbons, means the hydrocarbon which are having double or triple bond, it is shown us as addition reaction. We are adding hydrogen in the presence of nickel catalyst and it is converted into saturated hydrocarbon. Suppose we are having R as an alkyl group and it is being catalyzed by nickel catalyst and it is converted into saturated hydrocarbon. Ethane is being converted by this process into ethane. A best example of addition reaction is difference of vegetable oil into vanaspati ghee. The vegetable oil consists of long saturated unsaturated hydrocarbons, while the vanaspati ghee, which is made by this method, it consists of long saturated hydrocarbon chains. Okay, the vegetable oil is a liquid at room temperature, so it does not stick to arteries when it is being absorbed by our body, while vanaspati ghee is solid at room temperature, so it can stick to arteries and can cause blockage inside our arteries and veins. So, vegetable oils is good for health, while vanaspati ghee is bad for health. We can say unsaturated hydrocarbons are good for health, while saturated hydrocarbons are not good for health. The next is substitution reaction. It is a type of reaction in which one atom or a group of atoms takes the place of another atom. How? We are having the example of methane with chlorine. When we are placing methane with the chlorine into sunlight, we are substituting one hydrogen with one chlorine molecule at a time. First we are having a CH3Cl, then we are having CH2Cl2, then we are having CHCl3, and lastly we can have CCl4, and with that we are having 4 molecules of HCl. Some important carbonic compounds and their properties. In this topic, we are going to study two chemicals of carbons, that are ethanol and ethanoic acid. One is of alcohol group while the other is of acidic group. First, we are going to study ethanol. Ethanol is a chemical compound, a simple alcohol with a chemical formula C2H6O. Its formula can be also written as CH3CH2OH or C2H5OH. This ethanol is also known as the we can say it is liquid at room temperature. It's commonly called alcohol. It is also called as alcohol because mostly this structure is used as alcohol in so many industries, and it is the active ingredient of all alcoholic drinks. All alcoholic drinks are made with this type of ethanol alcohol. Ethanol is also soluble in water in all proportions. Okay. The action of ethanol with sodium metal shows here. Two molecule of ethanol plus two molecule of sodium gives us CH3CH2ONA, means it is with release of hydrogen gas. When we are going to react the ethanol with concentrated sulfuric acid, the reaction of ethanol at high temperature, मतलब 443 Kelvin with sulfuric acid, we can have ethylene, okay, with release of water molecule. While the reaction with ethanoic acid, ethanol when is being reacted with ethanoic acid, we will have ethyl ethanoate and release of water molecule. Now the second compound, that is ethanoic acid, it is formed when ethanol is oxidized with mild amount of oxygen. When we are going to react ethanol with mild amount of oxygen, we can have ethanoic acid. In the presence of alkaline potassium permanganate and heat, or acidified potassium dichromate and heat, this ethanol is being converted into ethanoic acid in the presence of oxygen. Ethanoic acid, we are going to study the physical properties of ethanoic acid. It is having melting point at 290 Kelvin. During winters, it often freezes in cold climate and form ice-like flakes. So it is called as glacial acetic acid. Glacial acetic acid is a trivial name of water-free or anhydrous acetic acid. It is a weaker acid than HCl, but it is stronger than alcohol. So we can say it is it's showing us some ionic activities also. Now, what are the chemical properties of alcohols? The alcohols can react involving cleavage of OH bond, and it is giving us reactivity order in acidic nature. It can be seen as CH3OH. CH3CH2OH is greater than CH3CHOH and is greater than CH3,3CCOH. Okay. While the acidic nature of when we are comparing acidic nature, we can say. Now we are going to study chemical properties of ethanoic acid. The first is esterification reaction. When we are going to add ethanol with ethanoic acid, it converts into ester. In the presence of acid, this ethanoic acid and ethanol convert into ester, and the ester molecule can be shown as double bond of carbon. Actually, esters are sweet smelling compounds, and it is used in perfumes and flavoring agents in so many food items. Reactions of ethanoic acid is shown as if ester is being activated in the presence of base. When it is it gives us ethanoic acid and ethanol. So we can say this process is a reversible process in which ethanoic acid and ethanol is being added up, and when they are reacted in the presence of acid, they gives us ester, and this ester can be degraded in the presence of this base, strong base, and it converts into ethanoic acid and ethanol. Now, the reaction of acid with base. As we know, acid and base gives us salt and water. So here, when we are going to add base, that is of sodium base, this ethanoic acid is converted into sodium acetate, and we are having the molecule of water released from this reaction. The reaction with carbonates and hydrogen carbonates. When sodium carbonate is being reacted with ethanoic acid, we will have sodium acetate with release of carbon dioxide gas and water molecule. While sodium bicarbonate, when reacts with ethanoic acid, we are having sodium acetate with carbon dioxide and water molecule, same as the above reaction. Now we are going to study soaps and detergents. What is the manufacturing soap and detergent required? Soap are made from animal fats or vegetable oils by heating with its sodium hydroxide. This process is preparation of soap is called saponification. Here we are adding a fat or oil, that is ester, with alkali, that is sodium hydroxide, and when we are heating it up, we are having soap, that is sodium salt of fatty acid with glycerol or alcohol. Soaps and detergents, the structure of soap molecule just like this. Have a look of the figure. it is having two ends. At one end it is having a short ionic part, that is water soluble part, that is having sodium ion, while long hydrocarbon chain which is oil soluble. The soap molecule is made up of two parts, a long hydrocarbon part or non-ionic part and a short ionic part containing COONA plus group. The long hydrocarbon part is hydrophobic, while the other part is hydrophilic. So we can say the hydrophobic part insoluble in water but soluble in oil, while the hydrophilic part is soluble in water and insoluble in oil. So they are placing apart from each other. The hydrophilic end is being attached to the water molecules, while the hydrophobic end of the soap attached to the dirt which is containing oil, and it can be removed easily from the clothes when it is being added to the water. So misters are formed due to these soap molecules, which removes the dirt from the cloth. This mist stays colored in solution. They does not precipitate out due to an ion-ion repulsions. We can say soap with when we are adding soap in hard water which are having calcium or magnesium salts, it converts into scum. This scum actually does not help to clean clothes, so we cannot use soap with hard water. These calcium and magnesium salts are also responsible for hardness of water. So we are supposed to use detergents for this type of hard water. When we are adding detergents are ammonium and sulfonate salts of long chain carboxylic acids. These salts can be overcome the reaction of calcium and magnesium salts, and they can easily remove the dirt from clothes. Okay, thank you.